to play Rodrigo, Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinicius Junior. He said Mbappe in the best position, the left wing. Vinicius Junior's the best position, left wing on him. Inti Carlo Ancelotti and finance our balance, no, Emma Nyama and Koyema Real Madrid. I think say, given that it is his first season trying to, put together or find the right balance for these crop of players to thrive at Real Madrid, I think that if Florentino Perez wants to do Carlo Ancelotti good, I believe say it was say Otimima Carlo Ancelotti another chance to put things right. I feel say maybe Florentino Perez Adrian said one or two or Adrian say be said one for Xabi Alonso Basisia Ebiana next season Ebiana Xabi Alonso could be before. That could be the only reason. But obviously Xabi Alonso and Casaba because it's either Real Madrid or nothing. It is maybe bet me Carlo Ancelotti another time. Now with me finding the right balance with the team and but on the other side, Carlo Ancelotti is not. I mean, he's not a young coach anymore. He's growing. And I also believe that a national team job for Carlo Ancelotti could be the best for him. And obviously, one of the biggest national teams in the world is Brazil. And it's a Brazil cry Barca or Carlo Ancelotti. I think that. I mean, it could be a step in the right direction for Carlo Ancelotti, but I feel and I think that just one season for Mbappe, Vinicius, Jude Bellingham to get the right balance. Carlo Ancelotti, I don't think so. This is the right time for, for Florentino Perez to kick him out. But Florentino Perez, mind you, he's also thinking about the availability of Xabi Alonso. If I don't get Xabi Alonso now, probably someone might get him. Yeah, of course. Xabi Alonso, I can't say I'm coaching Real Madrid, but in football, you never say never. Anything can happen. I feel that they didn't do Carlo Ancelotti because no person stay with Real Madrid. They are not doing him good for kicking him out because of the result this season. But I think they're going into Brazil to even be the national team for Brazil. It's the right time for Carlo Ancelotti, looking at his age. That is what I think. But apart from that, I don't think Real Madrid are doing Carlo Ancelotti good by kicking him out.
But Derek, what is the obsession about Xabi Alonso and Florentino Perez? Because if it's about young coaches or modern tactics, there are other few ones around. It's the obsession for him to the extent that you are letting go an experienced coach like Carlo Ancelotti just because
right. First of all, the obsession comes from what Xabi Alonso achieved last season with Bayer Leverkusen out of nowhere. Nobody saw that coming. Unbeaten in the Bundesliga in the final of the UEFA Europa League final. Atlanta. So, and also Xabi Alonso, mind you, coached the Castilla, and it was quite a good run for Xabi Alonso. And Sana Bayer Leverkusen. So the first said Xabi Alonso knows something about Real Madrid. Xabi Alonso played for Real Madrid. He's won the Champions League with them and stuff like that. They feel say, okay, there's a player who has gone through the ranks with Real Madrid, has coached the Real Madrid academy. So he knows much better with this team. But of course, he cannot know much more better than Carlo Ancelotti, who has seen it all with Real Madrid as a coach with a long stint and winning so many trophies for them. Mind you, Xabi Alonso also be fighting with egos of players in the team. If, of course, Vinicius Junior stays, Kylian Mbappe stays, Bellingham stays in the team. That is what has actually made so many coaches very terrible. How to manage egos of offensive players. Just look at this Paris Saint-Germain team. Coaches have come and gone. But for the fact that Luis Enrique has managed the egos of the players very well, just look at how Paris Saint-Germain are thriving right now. Oh no, he didn't care to, boot up to let Mbappe go. He didn't care to let so-called top players leave the club because he knew that if he has those players that he could manage them very well, he's going to be successful. There was a time that even Dembele, he had a misunderstanding with Dembele. One for Dembele and travel and Arsenal in the Champions League group stage. One for travel, he left him out for like almost 4 games. But now look at Dembele, he's their best player right now. But like Mbappe and Abibia, he will be forced to play Mbappe because the hierarchy or the top, the board are saying that if we don't play Mbappe, maybe you're going to lose money, or maybe things are not going to go on well with us. Or of course, we need to pay huge sum of money for Mbappe if he doesn't play. But to manage egos like this, Dembele, this Kvaratskhelia, Desiree Doué, Bakola, Donnarumma, Vitinha, players that you can manage their egos very well. It goes well with you. I mean, Ancelotti, Mr. Fenderson, the likes of Pochettino by Paris Saint-Germain, we saw what happened. The likes of Fenderson, Unai Emery by Paris Saint-Germain, we saw what happened. But just look at Luis Enrique. He was almost going unbeaten with Paris in the league until Friday. Ojini's Eshom. But just look at how he's transformed the team. Right from the time they lost 3 consecutive games in a row in the Champions League till now. Now, Kofo Cry to say Paris Saint-Germain, to me, everybody years across Manchester title. And even people are even calling Dembele as one of the candidates to win the Ballon d'Or. This is how a coach can actually, thrive when he has his fingerprints on the team. So I think that Carlo Ancelotti had that with these players. I mean, we shouldn't forget that it was Carlo Ancelotti who actually made Vinicius Junior who he is right now. I mean, 2-3 seasons ago, we saw Vinicius Junior when he came to Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior didn't even know how to pass the ball, didn't know how to score. But when Carlo Ancelotti came from Everton, Vinicius Junior became who Vinicius Junior is right now. It's just about time. One season for Carlo Ancelotti to try and put together, the Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, and Jude Bellingham. It's very difficult. And let me tell you one thing that nobody is even talking about. It's the missing piece of Toni Kroos that they haven't replaced. Toni Kroos it's a big gap. We're creative was our Real Madrid team now. Bankrofon Shana and Kan I mean, taking out Toni Kroos. Say, Toni Kroos one man. Do you think Mbappe and the likes wouldn't thrive in the team? And of course, injuries have actually marred this Real Madrid team. But I mean, that is not an excuse. But I think that Toni Kroos away free our team. No one said a replacement in money, And also, one of the bane of this Real Madrid team. But I think that for me, Xabi Alonso bar. He has to manage the egos of the players, and if he can do that. And 2, Real Madrid and yet Matra Makwa team. Real Madrid almost mouse our chance and they say they are by Leverkusen. I'm on the chance of waiting me. I hear the over. So Real Madrid almost mouse our chance. We've seen that with so many coaches. Even some coaches came, Lopetegui, after 4 or 5 months, you're sacking. So you can be whoever you want. You can be, but when you come and you don't, get the team running, you'll be knocked out or you'll be sacked. So Xabi Alonso no first had any team or Barcelona Madrid team.
Clifford, remember crime was watching our name. So this is all Sport GHL YouTube. We having a conversation. Clifford they were USA, Derek Yime were USA, Abner Chelsea also were UK. Yeah, connect. So we're having a conversation about Madrid, because come to think of it, board Toni Kroos, I was like, Florentino Perez thought that Danny Ceballos maybe replace Toni Kroos. Now, in any case, it is why a bad recruitment. Of course, supporters Carlo Ancelotti. But if we do analyze the team very well, then we realize that Charlie positions be where Madrid failed to do recruitment on. For instance, Lucas Vasquez. And yes, I go what team anymore. But they let him play because you're trying Trent Alexander-Arnold to say, this season and obey free. But ideally, try Lucas Vasquez as a right back there. At the Braca. How do we just oppose that? Problem is a Carlo Ancelotti 100% announce recruitment no so one going, but just because Carlo Ancelotti into young function. But maybe Derek, I will let you answer this question. But Clifford, Derek conversation now can be full for can be me. I can't.
Yeah, I think I'll side with Derek and the fact that Ancelotti free Leverkusen eba Madrid. That is if Sebenya Baswa eba Madrid no. He's coming as a winner. Not like Obia. Oshe Zidane Diana. Also Zidane taking over from Ancelotti is quite different. He was within the team. He knew the players.
Yeah.
He had grown together with the team.
Yeah.
be it in the shadows of Ancelotti, though.
He was
But
even the personal assistant to
that's
Florentino Perez.
assistant.
Yeah, assistant. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But
exactly.
so what Alonso Diana is quite different. He's played the team. He has the respect of the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
Those he didn't play with, those
Mm-hmm.
who came into the team after he had left, they've seen how well he played for Real Madrid. The pivotal role he played en route to La Decima near Adeno. And he had left to go and carve a niche for himself as a manager. Waba La Masia, the second team, Abe carving the teeth from there to Leverkusen to snatch the Bundesliga from the hands of Bayern Munich.
Mm.
Well, like Derek just said, nobody saw it coming. Said Leverkusen, yeah, but yeah, preseason predictions. Now Obi Abeka said Leverkusen the Bundesliga from Bayern Munich. In that even if they have a bad team, Obi and him said 9 out of 10. Bayern is the team that will win the Bundesliga. Now I go unbeaten, not just winning the Bundesliga. He went unbeaten and then take the same Leverkusen team to the final of the Europa League. Into Oba, he has this aura around him, aura of respect. Sir, he's an achiever. He had played for Real Madrid before, and he has the respect. He will command respect in the dressing room. And no, it gives him an impetus. Say players be try to flout the rules or bar. Every manager be take over a team or bear. If any player tries to flout it, you have the backing. You have to say player like Vinicius and Alonso and your standoff. Why not the president ever back? No, me say president never back Xabi Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
One, he's Spanish. One, he is a Madrid legend.
Mm-hmm.
Into players no crown, they would dare not say Obiba flouting and Xabi Alonso rules. The internal maker say Xabi Alonso, Carlo Ancelotti. Sometimes success, yes, success has many fathers, failure has none. Success has a way of papering over the cracks. It will team. Now we can about transfers, pivotal positions, Madrid
Madrid. Yeah.
yeah Anyama Ancelotti and so they did Champions League as I did La Liga.
Yeah.
Say Xabi Alonso bar because you've lured him from his comfortable zone. It was said meeting the demands. That will be part of negotiations. Say be me
So
percent
what
these
Sir Clifford
positions
and
more
Maxon
yamame.
said, those demands,
Yeah.
if Madrid are willing to give Xabi Alonso those demands, are they not for the same demands Emma Carlo Ancelotti? Because if you give him those demands, those players Xabi
Yeah.
Alonso would want to have, I am sure Carlo Ancelotti would deliver, isn't it?
Also, like Derek just said earlier on, age. Oh, manager, most managers, they need energy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no less a club like Madrid. It saps a lot of energy from you, emotions from you. Even though Ancelotti are one of those reserved, overly reserved managers are you name football arena. Bibi crazy, a lot of managers but jump here around. He will just stand there cool, calm and collected. No or coffee. Obi Omashe go in the dying numbers of the game. I was said he had to be jumping around, jubilating. No, coolly going for a cup of coffee. Just so he has seen it all. He has seen it time and again. The internal maker said success has a way of papering over the cracks in a team. You say Ancelotti, the voice, and personally, this is what I feel. Internet, yes, that make us say Madrid were baby now Liverpool were last season. Klopp on his own accord after reinvesting the midfield with McAllister, Gravenberch, and Soboslai Mono. Or yes, on his own. I was say or team after the season no call because he felt say sometimes who a manager now when they was say who's a voice and I think say this team needs a new voice to push it to the next level. Oshe, this is the second time, his second stint with Real Madrid, right? After how many years? Inti Oshe, natural. Saying the voice, the best players are with me, say, be on my command down. They are all achievers. They are all
Well,
achievers. And they
um,
need a new manager. One, is either you play for the new manager or you are shipped out. That is where Madrid is now. So they'll bring a new manager who will bring his new ideas. I bet a new spark into the
but
players.
Clifford, because of time,
Yeah.
you mentioned new manager, new ideas, new energy. Looks like we are seeing that at Barcelona.
Yeah.
Derek, I would want to rope you in on Barcelona.
Mhm.
New energy, new coach, new vibe. It looks like Hansi Flick. Yet himself, Germany, he's done very well. Was started as an assistant way back in 2006. So Rabi Germany national team, he's been working very well. Bayern Munich, Obeje, Champions League, and he didn't perform after Germany national team issues. Kakra, you
Mhm.
see, Oba Barcelona was shocking a lot of people, a lot of them. Say Barcelona say they are heading towards treble. Derek, the Barcelona team you are seeing today, how much of improvements the whole team and a treble now possible, Anna?
I think it's I'm one person that finished a Flick are shocking me so. I mean Flick about team. I didn't see Flick to do anything good with this Barcelona side. But I mean, of course, looking at Nyama Yekukum, Barcelona team Kukum in terms of transfer, in terms of Sika, Yene La Liga president Xavier Tebas Ekon back and forth, ne La Liga Alfonso Ekon, how to register players and everything like that. If you put into perspective where Flake has taken Barcelona team now with just one signing, which is Dani Olmo, it's incredible. I mean, it's amazing. Instilling some confidence in this young lads and young players. And yeah, starting season, first of all, De Jong was injured. Gavi, I think, no free injury, but we still had a 36-year-old Robert Lewandowski. And we weren't good last season because of Xavi, but I think credit to Xavi for giving the debut to the likes of Pau Kubasi, Lami Yamal, Marc Casado,
Fermin
like all these young
Lopez.
players. They just needed some belief and confidence, and I think that is what Hansi Flick is still in this place. And every time they're about press conference, Obama said, Barcelona have got a rich academy, which is the La Masia, and I think and I will believe he said this group of players is so let's have confidence in them, and they'll be one of the best teams, and that is what we are seeing right now. And just as Carlo Ancelotti had to build a team for Zidane to make good use of it, that is what Xavi did, and now Flick is actually sowing from this group of players. Because I feel that we all knew what Pedro could do, we all knew what Gavi could do, we all knew what Frankie De Jong could do, but it was just about the belief and confidence that the coach could give to them. I mean, Xavi was like, he can't. This group of players, normal to me and thrive it. But this is what we've seen this group of players do under Hansi Flick with just a single sign, that is Dani Olmo. So Anka also number person to Nico Williams. What if Nico Williams
Yeah,
also came to this team? And look at how this team is thriving so well. And bringing in retired friends Chelsea, who just says me out.
Chesney, yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
bet for our team no actually up. Nobody saw this coming. And I catch Rafinha point blank say he's part of the team. Because Rafinha was almost going to Saudi Arabia or leaving the club at a point. Okay, I mean, you made this story even on the I mean on Lawson was that Rafinha at the time said he's had enough. He wanted to leave the team. And to say a friend said Flick or see Flick by Flick friend catch and he said he's part of my team regardless of whatever thing. And to see we are not talking about Rafinha even winning the Ballon d'Or. That is the sort of confidence that Flick are instilling into the players, instilling into the team. You see, I know, Ubunwana Flick, Wakako, Bam, play away, or Nene, Bibi Kraban, Komobi, yeah, Tama, friend is saying, eh, Asu Fatimone, Hector, Fall, Mo, to two, Monsa say, Flick, I'm a man, ball game, no, said then. The next time, no, you say Flick, in Kolanum Kasa, say, and you say, Afena, you win match, I'm over there, who did it, the Mbesha game him, and no number, and the next game, we saw Flick. I mean, at first, give them a starting bed into the game, and then they did exceptionally well. So that is the sort of a marriage between these young players and the coach. And if that happens, it brings out the best from the players, and that is what we are seeing from Barcelona. I mean, 2025 now, and to say Borussia Dortmund, like 2025, unbeaten. And
Clifford.
that is the confidence that the players have. Just look at this. Yetimiko 2 goes down here, crawling back against Team Ben. Yashef 23 times 4 goals in a season. Yashef 7 goals. Yashef 6. Yashef 5. It's like say Uyetina was our rampage where there's nothing stopping you. And talking about treble, obviously. Yeah, under 19, we need trouble in the Omni Trousers for boys. So Belletti, Giuliano Belletti, kudos to him for winning the trouble for the under 19 team. A man also our Champions League final. Also, I'm vying for Champions League friends at treble. And also Barcelona. They have the league inside, they have the Champions League inside. I think anything. It would be so unfair if you don't see Barcelona go on to win the trouble, looking at the sort of performance they are putting in. But I think it's football, anything can happen. The team be beating me at any instance, but if I put into consideration the sort of confidence that the team had against this Real Madrid team, obviously Barcelona 2-1 at the dead, like 8 seconds in the team calling away back. It's a winning game now. I feel this is the time for Barcelona to win the trouble again after we won the trouble in 2009.
Clifford.
Yeah, I think Makuka Hansi Flick has some now. Me momudia, I me one bit because I've had a first idea of what he brings to Team Bia or Kochi. And good managers do not become bad overnight because of one mishap I see what career mo. Flick, they see what Germany know. You say, opposite of what he's preaching at Barcelona now, and it happened with Germany national team. No, there were a plethora of players who had passed their time and who were still in the national team. And now the DFB failed to move on from those players. No, Entina, Emma, or carry on the same mistake Joachim Löw acquired or Germany national team. When he took over Barcelona, after the first press conference, who said, or visiting La Masia, share what they have in stock. No share team, no. A Honda who say no, pre-season, no, it will determine where them Barca become. Because one characteristic of Flick team spy fitness. One thing I mean when the team who fitness. So also no be go toe to toe, the teams be go toe to toe. That is when you know say o fitness level no ebiaka ebiwachi. So Madrid and no move on. Madrid could have scored 3-1 and Barca would have replied to all the score lines because they had extra gear can no bet me a call. So Madrid see a sambo biwa. They had extra gear. Extra how well prepared are that team no. Barcelona team no. One thing about them, in as much Shadio, there's this risk-taking approach I will with team no. They are not afraid to take risk. How many times now this season, Derek, Yanka, Barca, I know, Highline now, Bono. How many times? But how many teams have been able to take advantage of that? A trail with team that's so confident in their approach.
But Clever, for instance, I'm sure say you catch us say Hansi's high line with Pau Kubasi, a young defender, Inigo Martinez, who virtually was out of the team last season. Juice Kondi, was stable kakra, Alejandro Baldi, and Bona star be kakra. Na obo high line, na on name Bapi Bebo, Rodrigo Guesh Bebo, on the Vinicius Junior Bebo, na 3 games. Still Bellingham, not still Ladia, and finding it difficult to beat this Barcelona team. It's something that marvels me because and I am one was a still and one almost more high line. So I keep on asking myself, say, why are they not be breaching the high line? Is it that almost from previous games are now?
And
why are they?
Trust. A
Trust in what?
team,
The
a cluster
system?
of team that trusts their manager nature. They have absolute
Okay.
trust in their manager nature. Say, no matter what, or they will be say a 4, you better 5. Say, and yet Dortmund they share Barca. Everybody knew the scoreline. Say, no matter the scoreline, Barca had already qualified for the semi-finals. And no, yeah, they just had to show up. I was even wondering, say, even though it was a joke to myself, say, other than Barca, Krumunyai, Dortmund no mu kono na UEFA anche Barca, anche Dortmund 3 goals, 3 points. Still, it wasn't going to be enough for Dortmund to progress to the next stage. Looking at the number of goals, Barca share our first leg in the share, say team bubbles, now still, or no bar, now Junimono. What they share Bayern against Barcelona. When Bayern scored the A2, I'm taking you back to the A2. Kwakusame on the share. Okay, yeah. When they scored, Bayern scored the first goal through Thomas Muller. And China Barcelona beteka through an own goal, David Alaba. Beteka no. Or China Okachon said they should play on. Within 4 minutes, I said 5 minutes, now Bayern a bete ball no. As I bet through Perisic, Ivan Perisic, second goal. So no, but still not buying a ball. The backline of Jerome Boateng, David Alaba. These defenders are who had lost a yard or two due to injury and longevity. The only youth are now making so what backline, Alfonso Davies and Joshua Kimmich, 2 and 3. The central lines in the area, Oma injuries are how Oma Bobo Nate, and so he was able to get that idea. And when he was at when he was in the Germany national team as an assistant manager at the 2014 World Cup, there's this thing about him. It works well for Hansi Flick and young players. He knows what to say at the right time. Say a lot of managers would have made a mincemeat out of the Rafinha match against after the match against Dortmund. When they finish, that scene no create a lot of managers, and come go best or say metro seminar head manager.
You're right.
And so look at this. The next stage, he came out defending the players.
Yeah.
This is a player, a manager who knows what to say to the players, what to say to the press, what to say to the players at the right time. A lot of managers miss that time, what to say to the right word that will back to players, even if they are not selected. A lot of egos. I bet sorry or team say, hey, Adana, yes, Sakra, warm up, Sama. But should the young players and I have to fight to me or bench on. A lot of managers can be befu. Enti, maybe when you say you trust, it boils down to trust our players, And now, Hansi Flick system, and the fact say he's a winner. They know say it worked at Bayern Munich. That same system, it worked at Bayern Munich. They won sextuple under him. Enti, Obi Krauma, one of the figureheads for Barcelona team, is their captain, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Obeka Chon say, the boy, you'll say A2. If we believe the all catch now, it will work for us because he has won trophies with that same system. And said the direct kind of Osha team where they were struggling financially. Omu players in the person cover player way by Yenisika, Omu Betiswa Mayana, Yenya, Nico Williams, Beba, Oma. Let's make do with what we have. Germans have this proverb say the answer to your problem is right next to you. And without complaints, while making sure so a jelly team, while blending them together to get the best out of each and every one of them. Look at them, one after the other. We're improving one after the other. Just the respect, not just now Juvenile and now Barcelona. Whether they win it, for me, it's not even about the trophy. There are countless number of teams that get trophies. Many are the needed respect. I'm out for credit meeting about their service better. Be a trophy, be a team BJ. But also the boa umubo Barca fan base. So person who say club will be a niadia. Check the fan base. Check the fan base. Chelsea, when Abramovich decided to sack Mourinho for the first time, the whole world was like Mourinho. Chelsea fan base, even those who were not supporters of Chelsea, were mourning his departure. The same applies to Barca today, their fan base, and those who are not even part of Barcelona family now. They love what Hansi Flick has done with the team. If you compare that to what they were, where they were, and Xabi, me who say he's done a good job.
Okay, Derek, I'll let you go. Now, last words. Now, what count last words? No, I can't also say. What in your opinion, treble is possible now?
I mean, as a Barcelona fan, I think I believe that me per se your team needs trouble. And looking at the way on the 19th for our shots here, I was say twice was and the 19 first team in such trouble, and man such trouble. First time in history, I did a bit messy. As a Barcelona fan, I mean, in my opinion, I believe that we can go all the way and win the trouble because all indications, I mean, it's gearing towards Barcelona winning the trouble. But of course, it's when we have to get a hurdle over Inter Milan. It's Michel Inter Milan in the final there. I know said anything can happen. The last time we won the Champions League final was in Germany, in Berlin, and now this final is also in Munich. For Hansi Flick, I don't know a German coach. I don't know if Germany. I say it me beat this hurdle of Inter Milan. I'll better go Germany there. I hope say Bibiabeku Yamano. He's never lost in the final. And to say to me reaches that final, hopefully he can continue that run. But yeah, of course, anything can. But in my opinion, I think Barcelona can go on and win the treble.
Derek, I really appreciate your time. Nyami shall ye pa. Best start ya kasa be pray.
Sure.
Sabo put man with you money abonko.
But that's the part.
Thank you very much. Derek Kotwaso na why do be Abena Chelsea found in Lately for number. I'm sorry, what's not Derek is so chumako with or driving or packaging up tank a crab bonko. Yeah, but try Chelsea conversation. So what I'm going to do is that probably we'll continue the Chelsea conversation because be interested how important. But I'm going to ask you those questions. Say, if Chelsea wins the Conference League, now Arsenal echo troughless. What be funny say more have we a better season chain Arsenal
now. Maybe as a Chelsea echo relegation po na Arsenal troughless a successful season, mommy.
With the agenda prognosis power. Agenda
Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United, or mobile trophyless. That Chelsea in relegation, or mobile trophyless successful season. That's all.
I've been saying working. Repair mono me de kanu beto so. Me can't say as some work out on suni.
Or sorry, or trakotonum or yawe. Ewa asama making home because. Tama we a friend say because football there's a band can be say any man and my football in the crown nation put
in my scenario say if Chelsea wins the Conference League offer to say a more successful season say Chelsea chain Arsenal maybe our both semi-finals of the Champions League with the second Premier League anymore now.
Well, treble Chelsea Arsenal so my treble like
second treble
like second treble. And in me Chelsea at the Conference
League it is said here Uber Countess Buana
like it's League Cup in my friend say England Hanum Chelsea but
they said
EFL wunya du chenko. You Conference League.
Yeah, yes, successful.
Conference League, that's an old Intertoto Cup, no? Old
Yeah,
one,
Toto Cup those days.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, the conference league I say successful be because now
if
the
you say Chelsea J Conference League na mu beji money.
Ebeji enipa. Now
Oh,
one thing you see na capital one
open top.
EFL.
May say Newcastle for trophy no more winning, you know.
Omo dey different, Mr. Newcastle
Like
for
the leadership from her.
Omo je hwete and fa hunto to Newcastle.
Newcastle they're not they this year.
Exactly.
They
Into
deserve
Chelsea
it,
beji Conference League. Amoma beji omani.
More by brand the boss and they are anti-chrome.
Like baby, I
no,
can't level I produce say the conference league crana, but say they compare us now season I would say yeah conference league, you qualify for Champions League. I successful 10 Arsenal or
The man
conference league.
qualifying for Champions League. What your conference no na still maybe a would finish outside the top 5 as well.
Oh, I know the meninge. Say impo ya conference league no next year qualify for Champions League na many budget actually say your budget conference league na ya qualify for Champions League because at least you inside this season Premier League teams no the 5 teams and na about Champions League next season say Chelsea toss of 5 or toss of 4 qualify for Champions League na me pay no chance say or budget conference because conference league no say Europa League ni mpo dia when him say omogia omo Champions League but conference league no dia hen na eko Europa League na many nye ho se ebebo no either say no na obekwa akogba na say obesan abo conference league na nti no
Mobile seeded or Europa League.
Because I was she said Mariska was passing the test nana because sometimes I'm like Trevor, Mariska, are you okay for Chelsea?
No, I'm a bit skeptical about him and some of his pronouncements. How make you a club in no make us say a really club no of success this season because Anka but for his pronouncements no Anka Chelsea crank Nisa and this situation they should either be third or outrightly qualify for 4th position. Yeah, matching home qualms crowd. Some of this I'm not kicking on when you are managing young players. Now, when they are trying to pull in one direction, now what do statements be? We should move to another direction. Say, oh, we are not among the favorites. Blah blah blah. You are sowing a seed of doubt in their minds. Say, Adenokran, are we? Say, should we win it? Are we going to be worthy champions? And now, see, I qualify for Champions League. Why are we bothering ourselves? Anyway, what are some of the players now? Also, Munam, they are just passing through the season. They couldn't be bothered. Also, how they started the season. Vim and Virgo model started. Come attention about manager national. That's where you have to prove your mettle. I want to call say Omukran favorites now.
you're not ready for the league.
Yeah.
And it's not or the pressure
no.
fit him this way.
No, it would have shown. It would have shown. Say, the season Mourinho's second stint.
2013, 2014 season.
But I was seeing the players, they were stallions. They were not yet
Lakers
lions.
office. Yeah.
Yes. That was William Moore. The following
Fabregas,
season, they came back and won it. Yes, we're from the Sholamo. They came back and won it straight away at Atakanta. And he said, what these 2 players need to say? This season, you're near ready. Yeah, they all know a best show. They all know that is what is going to show on the field of play. They all kind of Bonteno. The same thing I reflect on the field of play.
Clifford, any Abina Chelsea, say FX time, so we'll probably would end it here. So you better tie it be you better time it, you better for us to have a conversation. Why? USA for say by this time they are always saying
3, 4.
3. You are 3, 4. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. So you can grow.
Yeah, you say need him one year no more na eko.
Yeah.
1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour ahead of GMT.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Mm.
May I appreciate some more time very well.
Oh,
From a
our
Nico,
pleasure.
have a lot of conversation. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Abna, Nyansha.
Abena, Nyame Adoma.
You're Clifford.
Nyame Adoma.
Bye
You're on it.
bye.
Eresia.
Bye.
Bye.